Hello, my name is Todd Johnson, and I'm professor of Mission and Global Christianity at Gordon-Conwell Theological Seminary. A few years ago, I was in Uzbekistan with a group of students. We were studying religions on the Silk Road, and we were with a group of Christians who were studying the history of Christianity in the region. And they asked me, with very little warning, if I would tell them about the history of Christianity in the region. And fortunately, I had studied it and had had a chance to teach. I had no notes with me, however, at this time. So I just decided to contrast my own Christian background with theirs. And what I mean by that is that I'm Norwegian and Swedish, so I'm Scandinavian. And the history of Christianity in Scandinavia is a pretty interesting one. And it's actually pretty late in European Christian history. The Vikings up in the north were isolated really from the rest of the continent. And it wasn't until about the year 800 that Vikings began to sail down to where Christians were in places like Ireland and Scotland and then France and further down from there. And in fact, the Vikings managed to capture monks and younger Christian women and bring them back as their wives and as slaves. And that was the mechanism by which my people became Christian in about the year 800. Now, out in the middle of Uzbekistan, you'd think that the history of Christianity would be much later. But actually, we know that there were Christians in Afghanistan, neighboring Afghanistan, as early as the year 200. So I was able to tell them about their history being much, much older than mine. And in fact, by the year 400 or so, there were so many Christians in Central Asia, in Uzbekistan, in that area, that they had to have a special administrator, an archbishop in the Church of the East, who could handle all these Christians that were in this area. And so there was actually hundreds of years of Christianity in this region before people like me ever became Christian, or my ancestors became Christian. And that was a pretty shocking thing, really, for me and for my audience there, to think that Christianity was that old in this region. And in fact, we speak of a lost history of Christianity, a hidden history. If you want to study more about this, I'm going to take another group of students in the summer of 2021 to Uzbekistan to study religions on the Silk Road. And we'll be looking at this lost history of Christianity, as well as Islam and Buddhism and Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, and other religions as we think about this amazing history along the Silk Road.